Hello, everybody. Welcome to TSAM Daily. I've got Dan Irons with me. Hello, Dan. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Dan, could you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Dan Irons. I'm head of client service proposition for Aviva Investors. I've worked in the finance industry for 22 years now, and at Aviva Investors for 10. I've done multiple roles and currently enjoying trying to make this work. So there you
Yeah.
go.
And how has working from home been like for you?
It's been good. I think it's challenged me in some ways, in terms of the social interaction and the face-to-face and the influence you can have over people when you can go and talk to someone directly. But on the other hand, it's made me reevaluate time, family,
Mm-hmm.
ways of working, ways of engagement with people. We're doing things like virtual coffees, we're doing virtual drinks, we're doing virtual quizzes. We kind of keep that team culture type stuff going. So for me, it's finding a balance. I think the biggest challenge, as much as anything, is homeschooling. So, um, and I'm learning some new maths and English, which I probably should have learnt when I was 10, and I'm now relearning that at 40. I think it's but it's fun. I'm spending time with the children. We're doing more time with the wife, and yeah, it's just finding a balance. I'm not sure what that balance is yet, and I don't know what that looks like for the future. But
Mm-hmm.
I do think there is a balance to be found.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And talking about balance and communication, how has the communication between you and the clients changed during this period?
I mean, I think the communication with clients originally, when this first really started, was much more around the markets. They wanted instant feedback. What's going on? What's going on? How's the market reacting? Obviously, the market was coming off. Lots of questions around what's your view? How's this going to impact? So it was very generic type market questions. As the weeks have gone through, they've become much more focused on their investments.
Mm-hmm.
So now the questions have sort of moved to more investment type questions around their particular holdings, some more operational questions, looking for some more in-depth questions, definitely around the risk and liquidity of the funds.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is how they're asking those questions has changed. So before it might have been an email, now it's moved maybe to an email with a follow-up phone call quite quickly, right? So, and again, it's being driven by a different urgency,
Mm-hmm.
but I think also a need to talk to people. They want to hear other people and understand and get the perception of what people are thinking by actually talking to people, as opposed to just taking an email with words, written response that people just can not misunderstand, but might take it a slightly different way to how it's meant, and that contextualization is important. So I think my client service team, the client service team, the client relationship directors team, and the sales team are spending a lot more time on the phone, not only just sending stuff out the door, but they're actually then following up with a phone call to make sure that people understand the context of what we're trying to say, to give people comfort in what we're trying to say.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, for sure. And how do you think post COVID-19, the way clients uptake information and the way clients will adapt to the different ways that you've been communicating with them? How would that change?
I think clients are going to be more open to a digital experience. I think they're going to be more willing to do Zoom, Teams, WebExes, engagement over chat boxes maybe. They're going to be willing to take content in a more digitalized format. It won't necessarily have to be the email with the hard copy PDF and packs and that. So I think people are learning to work like that, which is good. I think the financial industry has been behind the curve in that space, and I think we're trying to get there. I think they will want to do the face to face, but I think it might be less. I do think they'll start to understand that there's a cost to that. Um, I think they'll be more comfortable doing a team-based meeting night with 3, 4, 5 people in a room over a digital way in a screen like this. And it's important. I think there's a balance there. I don't think they can do you can do it all one way or another way. So the clients, I think, will want to move. How do I put it? They won't want to lose the social side of the role, their jobs. They want to talk to people. It's nice to have a conversation, look someone in the eye, but you can do that over a digital experience, and I think they're getting more comfortable with that.
For sure, for sure. And talking about digital communication, one thing that springs to my mind are client portals. Historically, clients have not been very happy or eager about client portals at all. Do you think this would change their mentality around client portals at all?
I think I think client portals is an interesting topic. For me, there's a couple of key things that have to happen. First of all, their way of logging into a private environment has to be really, really simple. So you can't ask for too many due diligence type questions when they're trying to log in. You've got to ask their date of birth, what company they are, who they're from, where, to check it, to make sure they can get into that space. Then they'll very quickly lose interest. Then there's the point of it being the nuts and bolts of what they need. So a document repository for the key documentation they require, statements, NAVs, subscriptions, regulatory, IMAs, those documents type repository piece. What I think they will start to want, though, is, and if we can get them to do this transfer, is how do we change what else we can offer in there? Now, if that's engagement model, is that getting them to different ways of talking to us? Do you do a chat bot with a fund manager, for instance, if something's come up in the market? Can we offer that level of engagement to key clients? Can we get to a point where they can talk directly to them without having to go through third parties or relationship managers, service people? Can we send them information in a private space that is more tailored to them? So if we're talking about a market or macro view, can we tailor something that says, well, your mandate in this view would react like this, and this is why we think so? That kind of content will drive them to want to come and visit that type of site. So it's the simplicity of getting access, and then it's giving them another reason to go there. Because ultimately what we're looking for, and this is where the big brother stuff kicks in, is we're looking for what they're engaging with us on is, so that we can personalize it more, give them more value, and keep them in that site. If we can keep them in there, then we know they're engaging with us, and that's great for retention. That's great for potential future flows. And we can talk to them about solutions. We can talk to them about new ideas, and we can do that in a private environment and keep it logged, keep it a discussion. That's massive, but we have to make it really simple for them.
Yeah.
It's the simplest I can put it.
Oh, great. And one last question that I have is, what would you suggest to people working in client services and client reporting, etc.? How can they maintain a strong relationship with clients sitting from their homes in such times?
I think there's two things. I think we still have to maintain our service levels, so we still have to do to the best of our ability, and we're all getting used to it. So we have to meet our deadlines. We have to be able to produce the stuff. People are still craving this. I think where clients are now craving more information because of what the market is doing, it's about being responsive. It's about being, if you don't quite understand what they've emailed you about, pick the phone up, ask the question, have a conversation. It's amazing how having a personal conversation about how not only are they doing working from home themselves, how are they doing with homeschooling, how are they dealing with not being in an office environment, as well as then saying, look, I didn't quite understand what you meant by that. Can we talk it through? Getting a true understanding of it, and then getting them an answer back quickly. So you can now use this environment to start having a more personalized conversation with them, as opposed to what become quite robotic in some ways, which is email comes in, go find answer, send email response back, move on. That's not the world we're in at the moment, I don't believe. I think we have to start to engage, not only for our mental sanity, but I think for to keep that relationship. These people we might not have got to see on a month-on-month basis because of timeframes, meetings, agendas, other work. But there is no reason why you can't pick up a phone and talk to someone. And if an email off the back of a response to an email is what drives that, then why not?
For sure, for sure. Thank you very much, Dan, for such a lovely conversation. We had Dan Irons joining us today. Thank you for joining TSAM Daily. Until next time.